Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to do a mod video rather than a mock video. So back a while ago I picked up this set. This is the Speed Champion set 75894. I think it's still available, although I don't know how much longer for. Now I will say that this set was one of those ones that Lego feels they have to put two vehicles into. Also came with a whole backdrop thing that I just parted out. I built these two. This is obviously the main features. We've got this awesome mini Monte Carlo rally car from years back, and this thing, it bounces and falls apart and stuff. It's the rally car, obviously. Like the modern rally version of this is somehow this. This is like one of those. Anyway, let's get rid of that. It's awful. I love this car. This little Mini is absolutely fabulous. Look at the design on that. Now, this has got painted pieces here, obviously. It's got stickers all over it. And yeah, I think the design is really good. It's got very low ground clearance, but when it's like that, you do not know. Now, this is not a review video. This is a mod video. Now, I used to own one of the new Mini Coopers, a Mini Cooper S in fact, which I absolutely loved. So I thought what I would do is make a version of this car in the colour I used to have, minus the roof racks. Doesn't need the roof racks. And this is it. And I'm not gonna lie, I love how it looks. Like, it's great. Like, yay, another Mini. Looks alright under this lighting, but to be perfectly honest, it's really boring. It's really quite boring, because it doesn't have the stickers on it. And the rally lights on the front make it a bit more interesting. I used silver meat cleavers here to make it a bit more interesting rather than the black on that one, because the black obviously matches in a bit better with the two-tone, whereas this just makes it a bit more uniform. But what I'm actually going to do in this video is convert this Mini into something a bit more interesting without using any stickers. I don't want to use the stickers on it. I just want to go through and modify this build to make it more interesting. So I'm going to turn this into a normal Mini. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of these lights on the front. So let's straight away pop that off. We're going to pop the meat cleavers off. We're going to take the bit off the front here. Now I will say, I'm just going to redo this bit here. Now I will say that you can get these instructions off of Lego's website, and the parts to pick up off of Bricklink are not terrible. At all. I had some of the parts, but I needed some other parts, and I ended up buying most of the parts from one person because he had them all. So it was good. Now I will say, make sure you get the right wheel arches, because I got the wrong wheel arches the first time. One thing I did want to do actually was do it in the green that this is, and I was talking. I said I'd wanted to have a go at this, and Zabadak had actually had a go as well. Go and check out his channel, but he had wanted to have a go at doing it in the green as well. But you can't get this piece here in the green. Every other piece you can get in the green. Actually, no, I don't think you can get this piece in the green either. Thinking about it. So yeah, can't get two pieces in the green, so it needs some modification. So, but bear in mind, this is the old Mini, not the newer Mini, which would be a little bit wider. So maybe there's scope to do a bigger version of this. Now, I'm just going to put a really simple bumper on here. So already, we've turned that into a normal car. I think I'm also going to just pop. No, we'll leave that on there. I'm going to do something else with that in a minute. Now, we've got this Mini. It looks all right. It looks okay. I've gone with this shape for the grille. I did play with a couple of options, but that was the most interesting way of doing it, because it's 3 across. It's some very clever engineering in this to make everything 3 wide. It's actually using these 1x2 plates and the 3x1 plates with the 2 studs on it, which is a fairly new part as well in various places. You'll notice there was actually supposed to be one in there. I couldn't find it, so I had to use a normal one. But what they've done to make it 5 wide on the bodywork is very impressive, and it works really well. Now, my first thought here was maybe swap these out. Just, give it a bit of texture. Like, it doesn't need to be smooth. Let's try putting some of these on. Let's try this, just to see if it makes it a bit more interesting. Just livens the car up a little bit. I'm not sold though. It sort of makes it feel a bit more Lego-y, but I'm not convinced that's actually done anything to improve the look. So no, I'm going to take that off. Alright, what else can we do to improve this? How about bumper. Now, it works, but quite often on modern cars, they have lights on the edges, and you see this quite often on the Speed Champions cars as well. So let's pop these off. Like so. And then I think we'll put on, so we'll go to, we'll just move this over here, this here. So now we've got two studs. And then I'm going to use slope pieces. I did think about using round pieces here, but I thought the slope made it a bit more interesting. And just sort of gave it, again, a bit more shape on the front of the car. Like so. So I think that's starting to look, that looks a bit more interesting now. We've got a bit more shape coming in there. What else can we do on the back? Now this light doesn't really make sense on a normal car. So let's pop that off and pop that off. And we'll swap that over just to one of the plates we just took off. So now, it's sort of, it looks a bit more normal now. It also looks a bit more boring. So I think there's this useful piece here, which on here again is sticker, yay. But one thing on these minis is they actually have, if you get the Cooper S like I had, it had, by the way, damn good car. Really missed that car. They have their exhaust in the middle there like that. It suddenly looks a bit more interesting, a bit more racy. We've got a bit of a racy theme going on there. Now that gives me an idea. I'm going to do one thing to tidy up this row of black here, where the bumper sits against underneath the bonnet. I'm going to take that off. See this? We've got this row of black one angle brackets. I'm just going to 1x1 brackets. That'll do. I'm going to swap those out for some grey ones, just to give it a bit of colour, colour matching, because I think it really sticks out with those lights, with the way the bumper's done as a colour-coded bumper now. It doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite work. So let's put that on there. Oh, I think that looks better instantly. That gives the bumper, the air intake a bit more, the radiator a bit more definition there. I think that's looking quite good now. Now, one thing I will say on here is I've actually built this using some angle brackets as well. The reason being that it means it just makes it a bit stronger. I did play with doing this in various different ways using 1x2s and 2x and 1x3 plates, but that ultimately gave me a really strong bumper that stays on there really, really well. Actually stays on there better than the original one, I think now. So now we've got a car. It's looking all right. Still looks a little bit boring compared to the original, because the original one's got this definition. But what about if one thing you see a lot on these minis is stripes? They get a lot of stripes on them. So how about if we pop these off? Let me just get this out of the way. How about if we were to put a stripe on the front of the car? On the car, all the way from there, along the bonnet. That looks a lot more interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that. I think that's looking a lot better next to the original now. Suddenly that dash of a different colour has really brought it to life. But how about if we carry on doing it down the back here as well? Let's put it all the way here. Let's put another one on there. Yes, look at that. We've now got our racing stripe going the whole way along the car. I can't do it on the roof. It's just nearly impossible to do the roof. But I think we can go one step further. How about if we pop this tile off here and we actually make that go all the way down to the bonnet, to the bumper like that. I think that is looking pretty damn swish now. Yes, I'm happy with that. Look at that. It just really gives a lot of uniformity to the car. Now I think one more thing we can do here as well. This grey panel's bothered me. It's too boring. It needs a bit more definition on it. So how about if we put some white ones on there? We tried it with studs. Now let's try it with white ones. Let's keep that racing theme going. Again, I don't think that's overkill. I think that works quite well. Could possibly try using some 1x1 cheese slopes. That could work well, but I don't think it needs it. I don't think that's doing too much. I think that's good just as a plate. The cheese wedge to me just concerns me. It might bring it out a little bit too far because it would, in theory, just come out past the edge of the wheels here. That's looking good though. What else can we do here? Now, one thing, actually, I will do one more thing on this car that's bothered me. This roof. I don't like this flat roof. And it's the same on the one from Lego. The official roof has this flat bit on the back, and I don't like it. Looks odd. I think what we can do to improve that is just take those off. And we can swap them over to those, which it's not perfect, but I think it looks a lot better from most angles compared to that. A lot less blunt. I think that looks a lot more natural. It's not, as I say, it's not perfect. I did sort of consider trying to shift it half a stud out because these are hollow studs, but it just, again, didn't quite work. Oh, and I've gone with the non-painted windows on this because obviously red would not work with a grey car. I think we're looking good there, but do you know what? I'm from Essex, and us people from Essex, you know, we have a reputation for slightly yobbish cars, doing slightly yobbish things. And as I said, I did used to have a Mini Cooper S, and Mini Cooper S's, the S does stand for sport, and I think what this really needs, just a little air intake on the front like that. Now, now we're kicking the gas. Yes, look at that. I think that looks pretty damn sweet next to the original Mini. I don't think there's... Yep, I'm well chuffed with how that looks. I think that's a great finish to that. I think they look great side by side, very complementary. We've got our normal road version and our classic motor rally version here. I think that looks really hot together. I think those go together really, really well. Would like to do another colour of this, actually. I think it would look fantastic. I'm open to suggestions. If anyone's got any other ways to make this interesting in another colour, I'd be more than happy to hear. I think you can do this in brown quite easily, which would be quite tempting. If you go look at Brixtonville, he actually did a Mr. Bean Mini, which I believe is a brown Mini. Different, like completely different sort of design to this. He didn't use this one. He used his own custom design. So I've gone with sort of the idea of showing you how to take one of Lego's designs and, in my opinion, I think improve it. I think this is great. I think what I've done here is sort of another step in a way of evolving this into something as good, if not, I think, slightly more accessible in my books. I think this is better in a city, but this is awesome. I love this. This is such a good car. I bought this set just for this because this is such a good car, and I wish, dear Lego, please sell Speed Champion sets like this on their own. This is good. That is not good. I would never have bought that if it was on its own. This, I think, is hot. Hot, hot, hot. Let me know in the comments what you think of my mod for this rather awesome little Mini. I am pretty happy with my Essex Boy style Mini Cooper S here. John Cooper Works would be good to do as well, but I need the green for that. You need the dark green because that's a British racing green car. They do other patterns as well, but then I'd have to start getting stickers and printing things, which I don't really want to do. I don't mind putting maybe a sticker on the roof if I can find one that works, but that's not what I want. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of this little mod I've done. Is it something that appeals to you? Is it something you might add to your city now you've seen me do it? As I say, this is set 75894, the 1967 Mini Cooper S Rally, and that one at the back. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up there. I think the one thing that's left to do is we do need to put Mr. GJBricks here into his new Mini so he can drive off and race around Studsburg in it with our 1967 Mini Cooper S Rally car. What an awesome pair they are. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, hit subscribe. I post regularly, and I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.